So the reason some footballers, they are not playing football and they put on a lot of weight. See how it happens. When you exercise, a video before this one, I explained how glucose hemostasis, that is the fine balance of moving sugar around in the body so that there's no problem. How is maintained by insulin, which is the door that opens for sugar to come inside the cell, and we use it inside the cell. And if you don't want again, tell insulin he will close. When he closes, the remaining sugar is outside. But if the sugar that is outside is becoming too much, which is the blood is becoming too much, of course, the sugar is sent again to another place where it is now stored. It's also by insulin, where it is now stored in form of glycogen and other forms, so that the quantity in the blood is a particular good quantity, just to sustain use in the cell. When there's need, comes into the cell. When it's becoming low, break down from the store. If the person has not eaten, if you have eaten, you take the one you just ate, return some back to the stores. If you ate too much, when we need it in the cell also, the door opens, which is insulin. Sugar comes in. So that balance of, everywhere is what sugar should not be too much in the blood, it's all, everything. When you exercise, I explained, exercising increases or improves insulin sensitivity. So I now explained that during exercise, when the person exercises, what happens is that the door of insulin, remember, and in the morning, that's the benefit of exercise in the morning, not in the evening. In the morning, when you wake up in the morning, you're in your fasted state. You're not eating in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. You're assume that you slept for 5 hours, 8 hours. So for 8 hours, you're not eating anything. So of course, the body does the maintenance. When you say the website is down, we're doing maintenance. Maintenance happens every night. That's why you wake up very fresh. A lot of cleaning, a lot of things are going on when you're sleeping. So all that activity, the fuel that drives it also, part of it is sugar. So by the time you're in the morning when you just woke up, the quantity of sugar in the blood is very small. Now you now start doing push-up again, and there's no sugar in the blood. You start doing push-up, you start jogging. Immediately the door of insulin that controls sugar will not only open, it will almost want to, it will do like this, to open very wide, trying to bring in as much sugar and there's even no sugar in the blood because most of it has been used in the night for maintenance. So whatever is outside there will rush in, come in, and the guys, there's no food, not eating. Now you're walking out, 15 minutes has passed, you're sweating, and the guy is looking for sugar everywhere. He will now say, okay, there's store. So you go to the store, break down some of the thing, bring it into the cell immediately. It's not just staying in the blood. He's breaking it down, he's breaking it into the cell, The guy is not eating still. He's going 30 minutes, he's still working out, he's still jogging, he's still doing push-ups. He goes continuous breaking down. That's also how you lose weight, how exercise helps you lose weight. Because what is being broken down is the stored form of the sugar that you ate that was not needed. Because you ate more than you needed to eat. So we bring it in. 30 minutes, you keep going, the same thing continues happening, By 45 to 1 hour, that should be what is the healthy limit of exercise. After that time, if you continue exercising after 1 hour, you don't longer get the health benefit of exercise. What you're doing is what the body will now interpret as stress. So the difference between exercise and stress is time or timing, how long you've done it for. So any physical activity that requires quick bursts of energy and then it's taking over 1 hour. Now you're now going through stress. And the moment the body sends that message that we are under stress to the brain through certain mechanisms releases the hormones, the messengers, the controllers that help the body manage stress. One of them is called cortisol. It releases cortisol, stress hormone. Now, cortisol is a diabetogenic hormone. The statement means it's a diabetes-friendly hormone. It's a hormone that will cause you diabetes. How it does it is that because you're going through stress, the body is assuming we need much more sugar. It looks like this guy, the thing is entering another level, So he will go and what's the word now? That's the word I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. He goes and gets from every possible source all the sugar that is needed, and then sugar levels in the blood start rising. You know, the mechanism is a bit complex, but to simplify it, sugar level starts rising in the blood. Even much more than is needed in the cell, because now there's trouble. Stress is not normal. Stress is subnormal. So he goes. I think the word I'm looking for is recruits. He goes and recruits sugar from everywhere he can find, and the levels in the blood start rising. Start rising even above normal. Start rising. Start rising. So this is what happens to footballers. Footballers work out. How much is a football match in duration? It's for 2 hours or 90 minutes. 90 minutes is 1 hour, 30 minutes. You see? So you're doing 1 hour, 30 minutes of that type of activity. So beyond 1 hour, your body interprets stress, cortisol is released. You are now at the risk of diabetes, but very small risk. And then sugar is rising in the blood now, and then you're done, the match is done. The body clears up, cortisol is cleared up in the night, and the sugar in the body is now easily will not have to figure out a way to put the sugar around. Tomorrow again you come, if you're playing match every day, some are not, maybe once a week, you come again, you do the same thing, cortisol rises. So you're teaching the adrenal gland to release those large volumes of cortisol to manage stress for you. So every time you're under that type of stress, it releases cortisol, that keeps happening. See the problem. When footballers retire, the healthy part of a footballer's life are the trainings. The trainings don't usually last more than 1 hour. Usually 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's a match that lasts up to an hour and more. So those trainings that are short, cortisol is not there. What is there is insulin doing all the work, breaking down glycogen, turning it to glucose, breaking it into the cell, making sure that the doors are open where sugar is coming in. Insulin is hypersensitive because there's no sugar coming from the mouth. The guy is not eating sugar. So it's cleaning up the sugar in the system for use. So all the sugar that was on the floor, some of them that were somewhere, sequestered somewhere, they are stored, he's breaking all of them out. It's just like a cleanup you're doing. That's what fasting does. But not what much more than fasting. Walking, that exercise you're doing, that short burst, high energy, high intensity, time-bound activity will make all the sugar everywhere to come out. So when we're done with exercise, the body is clean of sugar before you now eat anything. That's what the athlete does maybe every day. They train every day, they train every 2 days. But when they play the match, cortisol now comes. They play the match, cortisol now comes. So you know how many games an athlete plays? So cortisol is everywhere. It's cleared in the night, depending on how good their sleep is. If they don't have good sleep, you wake up tired because cortisol in the system. Stress hormone is still there. Will still be there because you have not gone back to level zero stress wise. So the hormone is still there trying to manage stress, and then it stays in your body. Of course, sugar stays when it's there, and then everything is the hormone is there, the sugar is everything is there. And after a while, the sugar can't go away again. You are not diabetic. What happens is that when they stop playing, a lot of them stop training because that's the point of the training. You're training to play the game. So when you stop playing the game, it looks like training and then you stop. The problem is you have already taught your body to release certain volumes of cortisol when you're under stress.